welcome to the Got Invention Show. I'm your host, Brian Freed, and inventors come on our show and tell us their experiences and their journeys through getting their ideas to market. And today we have Karen Tannenbaum. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
Great to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So Karen, I've known you for a long time. You've definitely had a journey that you can share with the inventors and everybody else listening to the show. So why don't you tell us who you are and where you're from and why you're here?
Sure. So I'm Karen Tenenbaum. I'm a tax attorney on Long Island. I'm also an accountant. And I see the financial struggles that people get themselves into. And I realized years ago that it's really important to start young and make it fun and teach people about money. And I came up with a character named Walter the Vault. And we also started a nonprofit organization named Commerce Plaza, where fifth graders go and run a business for the day. And we donated it to Yes Community Counseling. And we have had over 65,000 kids come through the program. It's open to every school district on Long Island. And I'm very involved in the New York State Society of CPAs Nassau Chapter. And they made me the inaugural chair of the Financial Literacy Committee. And we've done all sorts of fairs. We've gone to the Girl Scouts. We're out in the community teaching kids about money.
Very nice. So you're a very busy lady personally. I know you're also a grandmother. Congratulations. And you're very busy with your invention, Walter the Vault.
And I have to say, now that I have a grandson, I have a different perspective, and I use him as the guide, the standard of what kids like. So we created Walter the Vault. Walter the Vault, I'm friendly and nice. I'm filled up with rhymes and financial advice. Save your nickels, save your dimes. Listen well to all my rhymes. And if you do, it's me you'll thank for all the money in your bank.
Wow. Very nice, Karen. So why don't you show us how Walter the Vault works?
Sure. So we have a number of different iterations. This one, you push the foot and it sings the theme song. And then if you push the next one, so it gives you all sorts of financial advice in songs. And it all started because my grandson loves the Wheels on the Bus. And if you push this button, it sings the Wheels on the Bus. And so we thought, wouldn't it be great to have something that teaches the kids to donate, to save, to spend, and all those words of wisdom we've now put into a book that is in rhymes. It's like Dr. Seuss rhymes. So it teaches kids, every time they go into a store and they want something, I want it. Well, we now have a song that tells them they might have to wait, or that once they spend their money, it's not theirs anymore. So we're teaching them fun lessons that they could adapt when they're out in the world.
Very nice. So, Karen, it looks like you've really put some time into Walter the Vault. It looks like you have some signs in the back. You have a very interesting prototype there that actually works and sings. That probably some recording chips in there and some plush that you had cut and sewn into what you want it to look like. Sure. So you came up with this idea because you wanted to teach kids financial literacy. And what was that drive and passion to really want to do that?
So it's interesting. So when my daughter, now who has a child, was younger, we went into a shoe store and they have a vending machine. And she says, "Mommy, can I have a quarter?" So I gave her a real quarter. And what pops out but an egg that has a plastic quarter in it? And she's so happy. She's singing and dancing all over the place. She thinks she got good value. And I said, wait a minute. That was the start of my journey. I said, you know what? Sesame Street has one or two episodes that talk about money, but there's really nobody out there teaching the kids about money. And every time a kid is born, you get a porcelain piggy bank, and they break in 5 minutes. So I said, right, what are we going to do? Let's come up with a plush that maybe has a place in the top where you could actually put the money. Or let's come up with something that opens up so they could put valuables in here, something that's valuable to them, a toy, or like you said, a letter earlier, a letter to themselves. We also want to make it a habit. So every night when they go to sleep, then they brush their teeth and they read a book with their parents. Wouldn't it be great if they could play a game and put pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, almost like Pictionary, where or whatever. You pick a card and it tells you a toy costs $1.25. And then they have to figure out how to do that, how to sort it. And then when they're done with that, they can take this out, and in the slot we have a number of different books. So we have a book about Walter the Vault meets the Pumpernickels, where he's in a store, a retail store, and it's a magic store, and the kids want to take home the toy, but they don't have enough money. And Walter gives them advice, go have a cookie sale. So we actually came up with a cookie cutter. You can make Walter the Vault cookies, and they have a cookie sale, they have a lemonade stand, and all of a sudden they get enough money to buy Walter, and they bring Walter home, and then they learn how to save money. So we have that. And we have a whole bunch of other books. We have activity books. We have, in fact, our activity book is actually in a coin jar through Brainy Bucks, Alex Toys, Money Masters, that's us. Our activity book is in, I think, 8 different toys that are sold in retail stores. So that was exciting.
Congratulations. Can you show us the Walter the Vault again? Because now we have you on full screen. Let's take a peek.
This one?
Yep.
Okay, so we have the front and we have the back. And as you can see, you have the pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters on the back. And you could have a digital coin counter on top. This is a prototype. And you turn the dial to open them up. And inside, you can put anything you want. You can put bills, you can put money, or you can put toys, or anything you want that you find valuable. And the kids love it. I have to tell you, kids of all ages have played with this toy from a year old up to 10 and 12. They want to. Kids really like to save money and learn about money. They want to have independence. They want to know that when they go into a store, they have control over their decision. They can make wise decisions. They could either save it, they could spend it, or they could donate it to help somebody else. I have to say, we've been in classes with second graders, and they all want to help animals. They all want to donate money to help animals. And so this is a way to do that.
Very nice. So not only are you teaching them to save, you're also teaching them entrepreneurship by giving the cookie cutter and very interesting. Very nicely done, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there's kids using what you came up with. So there had to be a point where you had the starting point. So let's get started on your journey and tell us. So you had this idea. What did you do first? Like, did you try to?
The first thing I did is I joined your entrepreneur group. You had a group in both Nassau and Suffolk, and I immediately joined that group and met attorneys who do patents and people who make prototypes and people who have ideas and wanted to share. And so you're constantly getting inspiration, and as a community, you're learning and you're connecting with people that can help you make the prototypes. This prototype was made from one of your guys.
Well,
and then I have to tell you, I have a client, so I do tax. I help people with tax problems. So a guy who has an auto body shop, they're always being audited for sales tax. He said, let me make it prettier. So he shined it up because the original guy didn't make it look as pretty. So everybody helps everybody out.
Good. So you came up with the idea. You immediately went to the group, or did you search around? Did you see if something was out there similar to what you were thinking about? Did you sketch it out on paper? Tell us what you did.
Okay, well, first I started the nonprofit organization. So the second this happened with my daughter, I said, how are we going to get this into schools? And I researched and found a place in Florida that teaches economic education from K through 12. And I immediately took a trip to Florida. I actually took a trip to Florida, met the principal, and then I brought it back to my school. We got a grant that helped us start this Commerce Plaza, the nonprofit organization. But the goal from the grant was that after 5 years, you had to be independent. So we started the 501c3, and we got together a community of educators, entrepreneurs, business people, professionals, and schools. And we got it into a number of schools on Long Island. And as I said, over 65,000 kids have come through it. McDonald's gave the kids lunch every day for 10 years. I think to this day, Capital One still contributes significant money every year. IKEA recently decorated the place. And it's a field trip for fifth graders. But then I said, you know what? That's not enough. You have to do something for them younger. They're 11. That's wonderful. But how about the younger kids? And that's when I said, my brother's very creative, and he writes in like a Dr. Seuss type style. And we figured out what Walter would look like. First we named him, then we drew him, and then I took it to my seamstress and I said, here are the colors, make it. And so they made a very rough draft of what it looks like. And in fact, here's a picture of it. Here's a picture of the first rough draft.
Did you actually make a picture of what you envisioned it to look like, or you left it for them to figure out?
Well, again, my brother's very creative, so I let him draw it initially, and then we tweaked it, and we loved it, and that's what we've been using ever since. We've modernized it a little bit as we went along. So, like the first one, I have an older one. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Some of them look a little different, like the initial ones. Mm-hmm. So I had a client who sold toys. So I said to him, what can I do? And his son went and made me a plush. This was one of my first plush, and had, space on the top for money. And I thought that was amazing. And again, we've been helped along the way, and we just keep growing. We keep saying, all right, what's next? What's next? What's the competition? What's out there? What's not out there? What could we do? So we've now been, we went to the Long Island Children's Museum. So we interacted with the children to see what they like. We go to the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. We've been now on Fox News, News 12, Fox 5, getting the word out. We're trying to do good things.
Good. Well, there's a lot of inventors listening also, Karen, and they're probably intrigued at this point that you're at this level. But so you went to the seamstress. So it was as easy. So if you have kind of like a cut and sew type of product like you came up with, so did you get the material? Did you ask the seamstress to get the material? You showed them the design and they kind of just made it for you like that into the plug?
Yeah, I probably, again, for this one, I probably bought everything. And then she sewed it. I thought she did a great job. And once you had a visual and then you had a tangible, then it's real. Then it's real. And then from that point on, we were able to show people what we like. Now, recently I worked with a designer, an inventor, a toy inventor who has a number of products already on the market. And she came up with a few other ideas that you should have 3 coin chips for donate, spend, and save. And that you could open up Walter here as well to put in the goodies, but you could push each one button separately rather than the one, that I have. So that's the next thing. I would love someone to be able to license that product, because I really think there's a wow there. When kids interact with something, they get an emotional feeling. Oh, they're excited when they play with it. And so that's the next thing, to either get an animated show like a Barney where someone's dancing around and we have a costume. And we recently actually hired somebody to come and video and somebody else to wear the costume and dance around and have some kids around to see how they reacted and do it to our theme song. So we're in the process of creating, I'll call it a sizzle tape or a tape to be able to pitch to anybody who might want a TV show.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great. So Walter the Vault, how did you come up with that name?
So my brother, we actually came up with a different name first that was a problem. We went to a big company that was actually interested but didn't like the name. The first one was Geldmeister. It sounded too wizardry, and they didn't like that. They thought that if we ever ended up in the homeschooling world, that wouldn't work. So they said, change the name. So my brother came up with Walter the Vault. And the goal, if the other sign says Money Masters, the goal is to make every child a money master.
Okay. So Walter the Vault, you landed on that name. So how do you, or what did you do to protect it? Is there some kind of protection on it? What about the design of Walter the Vault? Tell us about the intellectual property side of what you've done.
Absolutely. So we immediately trademarked the name, and I believe the look of it, right? It's so many years already that I don't even remember. We then tried to patent. We have 2 things that we wanted to patent. We have a cute little calculator, Stacy the calculator, and we tried to patent this concept. But because it's so similar to Connect 4, we ran into some obstacles. I have to say that. I put a lot of money into it, and I was not happy with the result. I could have pursued it more, and I might in the future. because I really do think it's unique where it comes out and, a book goes in, a game goes in, a book goes in. So we'll pursue it again, but I think first I need to have some kind of following behind Walt the Vault. Like, once it's out in the world, we'll add to it.
Okay. So you trademarked the name, and then you attempted to patent the product itself.
Two products. Yep.
Two products. And so the design, did you copyright the design?
Yes, we
design patent for what it looks like?
So I don't think I did that. I think I have a copyright and a trademark. I have a registered trademark. There's an R in the circle for my Walter the Vault.
Okay. So you're really building the brand from Walter the Vault, and then you have some various designs, but
exactly
the design is copyrighted. So that look of Walter the Vault, the way he or it looks, is copyrighted.
Absolutely. I'm taking notes because you got good points. Yep.
Okay. So now that you kind of had that intellectual property, you had the design, you had your prototype, what was the next thing that you did?
So I go to every toy fair, and I belong to Women in Toys. Every year I go to their gala. I volunteer at the registration desk for the last 5 years. I check everybody in. I meet the heads of every big company. I say hello. They get to know me. I get to know them. And then I try and make contacts in the toy world. I try and make connections, meetings. I have to say that we've had a number of meetings. I've worked with a few. Again, I meet a lot of people through my clients. They're in every industry. So years ago, we had an animator who was amazing. He knew a lot of people. He brought us into a few places. And from that, one thing leads to the next. So I would deal with Alex Brands. So I'm an attorney. I know another attorney in the neighborhood. Her brother worked for Alex Brands. I would always just say hello to him year after year after year at the toy fair. And one year they bought Summit, whatever toys, which made all these great products. And the next year he contacted me and said, would you like to do an activity book for our coin jar? I mean, so there we go. Now every year I speak at all the tax symposiums. So one year they let us have an exhibitors table, 700 professionals show up, and we had a coin jar that we gave out on our own. And I don't have the one in front of me, but we have one that says Long Island Tax Symposium on the back. We gave it out to everybody for their children and grandchildren. So we're trying to get, we're trying to get the word out.
Great. So when you went to the toy fair or the toy show, did you have a booth? Were you just kind of browsing around? Like you seem like you're shy, yeah. So you probably talk.
So I'm going to tell you a funny story. So I never got my own booth, but years ago I knew someone who had a stationery, sold calendars and took a booth herself for stationery, and we tried to sell our allowance chart. And I have to say, we got orders. We got tons and tons and tons of orders. This is a great allowance chart. You could do it with markers or with stickers, and it could start anytime. You don't have to start at the beginning of the year. It gives you the month and each week and how much the parents are going to give as an allowance. And here are all my cute little sayings, as I mentioned. Here's another one I didn't mention. When skies are blue and days are sunny, it's fun to shop and spend your money. But if you're smart and use your brains, you'll save some for a day that rains. Again, that's my brother writing in the Dr. Seuss style. And on the bottom, what are you saving for? How much do you need to save? How much do you have so far? And so the kids could keep track. Like, hey, mom or dad, you said you're going to give me $5 on Sunday, and where's my money? Where's my money? And so, yeah.
Can you
so we actually sold these. Yeah.
Can you bring it closer to the camera so we could see it?
Sure. I thought it was. Yeah. Could you see it?
Very nice. Congrats.
Thank you.
There's Walter on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah. Has Walter, the poems. Yeah, everything is Walter. Here's your copyright. Look at what year that was. 20. Here, you can go to walterthevault.com, by the way, and download it for free, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Karen, so again, at these shows, so did you have a booth or did you browse around to the different exhibitors?
So the first year, I did not take my own booth. I shared one with somebody. We sold those. And then every year after that, I just walk around. I try to make appointments in advance with different people or different companies. But mostly I just walk around and meet people, meet other inventors, find out what their journey has been, see if anybody has any suggestions or recommendations on how to get a licensing deal or an animated TV show.
So you have the chart, you have the plush, and you have the metal prototype there. So what came first, second, and third?
And the books, by the way, we have a lot of books. So we also have, by the way, a digital game. It's called Reigning Change. If you go to my walterthevault.com, we have so many coloring pages and activities. But one really cool thing is money is falling out of the sky. If you ever go to the Federal Reserve, I think it's in Philadelphia or whatever, it looks like a wall of money falling down. We have a similar game. Money is falling from the sky, and you could play a game. You could either catch all the quarters, all the pennies, all the nickels, all the dimes, or you could catch $2.50. And the kids seem to love it. Again, this is all at this point free. Those things on the internet are free. So I'm sorry, you said which was first, which was second, which was third. So we started with books, and we were working with a guy who invented games on the computer. And then we were working with a woman who was very creative and a children's author. And she wrote one of our first books. My brother wrote a whole bunch of the others. And then we decided to get an illustrator. Our illustrator actually works for Disney, and he's in Italy. I found him on LinkedIn. I loved what he did. And we pay him in euros. Isn't that crazy? So he let's see. He animated this book for us. It's really gorgeous. He does storyboards for one of the shows, Doc McStuffins or something. Mm-hmm. But he did all this. Here's his name, illustrated by Masi Luciana, and then written by my brother.
That's great.
And we have a whole bunch of them. So also we're doing it all at the same time. So books, plush, but it's a journey. It's a long journey.
And I remember also before the show, you were telling me about something with a big studio that you also had some potential with, right? Was it like a Nickelodeon or one of the big animators?
So we did have a meeting with Nickelodeon. They did actually ask us a while ago to write like a storyboard for a pilot. And this woman who was the children's author wrote a great thing, but she did it for a slightly older crowd, and they really liked it, except I think it included aliens, and they said that year they had a show with aliens. The guy actually at that time flew in from California and met with us. We were hoping to skew younger, because really that's what this is for, and include more Walter and characters, because when they get older, they're not as excited about the characters.
Okay.
I think we're more 3 to 6 years old.
Okay. So you're building your assets here of all these different kind of products and experiences for the kids. And so have you gone to, like with the plush, for example, have you found a manufacturer to make plush? Like, what are you selling? So
right now I need a toy company to license this. That's really what I need, because I don't want to have all of 5,000 of these in my basement. I was willing to pay money to see what it looks like as with this kind of fabric and this kind of fabric and this kind of size. I've done that, but they want me to buy 5,000 minimum. I'm not looking to buy 5,000 minimum until I'm going to be able to sell them. So either I have to get on social media, Instagram, TikTok, or something to have a following, or get an influencer or something, or a toy company. And I think toy companies are looking to see if I have a following. That's really what it is.
Okay. Well, it seems like, are you driving traffic right now to walterthevault.com to be able to purchase what you have already for sale?
So we do have an e-commerce platform. Minimal sales. I do have a certificate of authority in New York to sell. And we do file sales tax returns, but it could be better.
So if you found a factory to make them for you and you had 5,000 units in your garage, is it something that you would add to your website and drive traffic to be able to have all these different experiences that people can buy? Plus, you mentioned earlier that you're kind of tied into this non-for-profit. Are you including them in anything that you do with Walter the Vault, or maybe even to speak to Alex again with the jar that you have with the book? I mean, it seems like you're hooked and you're kind of like almost there. What is it that that you're looking to kind of connect everything with?
Yeah, I really think that I need a toy company that says, you know what, or a bank or some kind of financial institution that says, we want this message to get out into the world, and this is the way to do it. That's really what we need. We need someone to back us. I'm not going to put 5,000 of them in my basement and sell it. I'm not going to do that.
So
I don't think that's the way to go. I think again, I have to build up a following first, and for now, do one-offs.
So what's coming up then? So you mentioned maybe an animator or some kind of animation, maybe a short clip of what it might look like for Walter the Vault in action. Then you have the plush. Then you have all these different things. So what steps do you think should be first, second, and third that you're going to take to get yourself prepped up for the next step?
So that's a really great question. So I'm going to tell you. So I thank you for interviewing me here. Did you ever hear of Passage to Profit?
Mm-hmm.
So the Gearharts, right? You know the Gearharts. He's Richard Gearhart's an intellectual property attorney, and Elizabeth works in his office, his wife. And they interviewed me on their show, and they had other guests. And one of the other guests and one of the other people from the iHeartRadio gave me some suggestions and some time after the show. One person said that if I put together a sizzle tape showing my either live action or animated TV show, again, like the Barney type character, that he would, if it was good enough, he would show it around to his connections. And he had some pretty significant connections. And I had a similar response from the person at iHeartRadio. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to meet those standards. We did hire, as I mentioned, somebody to, when the weather was warm, to be in our backyard and dance around in the costume. But it was done, amateurishly. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Any suggestions? How about it? Why don't I get some feedback from you? I would love to know what should be the next steps. I got my pen and pad ready to go.
Well, this show is about you. We could talk afterwards.
There you go. There you go.
Karen, tell me, it seems like everything was kind of and is going your way, and you're going to move forward and work on these next steps. But it doesn't seem like I have an idea from just knowing you that it wasn't just everything was going smoothly and everything is great. So why don't you just kind of tell us, like, what were some challenges that you had to overcome to get to this point where you are?
Well, the truth is, I'm challenged now, right? I'm trying to get out in the world. How do I get not just the message, but the toy, the books, so I'm going to tell you a story. Years and years and years ago, I had this great grand idea, right? I think the world needs this message. So we had a meeting with Scholastic Books. They wanted to buy it. They offered me money to buy one of our first books. And they said, it's going to look the size of a 1-inch postage stamp on the flyers that go home with the kids from school. And show me what that 1-inch postage stamp is going to look like and the 5 words that are going to be underneath. I was so insulted. I was an idiot because I would have had Scholastic behind me. If I had accepted that deal, I would have had Scholastic behind me, and who knows what Clifford the Big Red Dog or whatever is the same age as Walter the Vault. I would have, maybe I would have been Clifford. But I said, oh my God, I have this grand idea. I want you to take the whole idea, not one little postage stamp. I thought I was new to the industry. I was new to the concept. I had no idea. And I was a fool not to take that deal. That was the first thing. I brought in the principal from the school in Florida. I flew him in to come to the meeting to show that there was an educational basis for it. I brought in a number of people that were in the toy industry that made me beautiful poster boards, and we made an amazing pitch, and they wanted to buy it. And I walked away because it was minimal money and I was a fool. Well, I could have had a backing then.
Well, you still have plenty of kind of journey to go here. So it must have happened for a reason, and let's see what happens, and we'll keep in touch for sure. Karen, it seems like you're definitely, I know that you have your connections with your clients and you're kind of getting through the doors that way. It also seems like you're not that shy to really pick up the phone. A lot of people they don't know that all it takes is just a phone call. Like what is it about you just picking up and calling who you need to?
Tell me who I need to call. I'll make a list and call them tomorrow. Are you kidding? Someone actually just told me that you should come up with an Excel spreadsheet of a contact list, and that's really the next step, to make a list. And so I'll tell you another thing. So years ago, I went to the toy fair and I met somebody, and it turns out we started chatting. He had a tax issue. I think there was like somebody stole his identity. And I said, oh, I'll help you for free. You're a nice guy. I'll help you for free. And he ended up giving me stock in his company. And that company was a pretty big company at the time. And now it's transitioned. He's no longer involved in the company, but some big names are still involved in the company. And they do some pretty big shows, including one for Warren Buffett. So I took a Goldman Sachs, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses course program. And he's on the, Warren Buffett's on the advisory board. And I met him face to face. I have a picture with him. And I told him, I said, I know you have this great show, like the Millionaires Boys Club or something. I'd like a 3-minute interstitial for younger kids to teach them about money. And he said, that's a great idea. And he gave me the name of who to talk to. And we've had some conversations. And, that's a few years ago already. I don't think it's on the current burner or list of things. But, you never know. I'll reconnect when the time is right.
Good. So, Karen, there's inventors and there's other people that are they just love inventors. But really, for the inventors that are listening, you've definitely come a long way. You've had your trials and tribulations. You're at the point now where you're thinking about what the next steps are going to be, and hopefully you're going to execute them. So for the inventors listening out there that might be starting off from the beginning, or maybe they're stuck at some point, can you give us some words of wisdom that you think really can make a difference for the inventors out there?
Yes. Take a step every day toward your dream. Just keep going and keep going and keep going. Because if you really are passionate about it, don't stop.
Very nice. Karen, how can we connect up with you, and give us the website one more time?
Sure. Walter the Vault. You can see the sign back there, walterthevault.com. And I'm Karen Tannenbaum. You can write to me at Karen Tannenbaum. I'll spell it in a minute, 1@gmail.com. That's KarenTennenbaum 1@gmail.com. And you can always call me at my office, 631-465-5000.
Show us Walter the Vault one more time.
Sure. I'll put the song on. Now, by the way, that theme song, my brother wrote it, but the guy who wrote the Nickelodeon Dora the Explorer song is the one who put it together. He produced the song for us. It turns out his mother lives in my neighborhood. I'm very resourceful with connections. That's true also. Wait, I'm going to shut it off. There are certain things that money can't buy, and we're teaching that as well. We're teaching the kids, health and happiness and friendship are important, as important as money, if not more.
Very nice. Karen, thank you so much for being on our show. You are an inspiration, and we hope to see Walter the Vault in a cartoon. Maybe I'll have my grandkids one day be watching it, and we wish you all the best. Congratulations on your journey so far, and please keep in touch with us. We'd love to hear more.
Thanks so much. And all those songs, by the way, are on the website, walterthevault.com. You can listen to them yourself.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. We appreciate
thank you
having you on our show. And for everybody else, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go to gotinventionshow.com. You can also see the video on gotinventiontube.com, which is our YouTube channel. And keep on inventing. Inventors out there, make your dreams happen just like Karen. Keep moving forward with your ideas. Have a great day and see you soon.